we are able to retell the story. So we are thinking about the characters, the setting, the events, the problem, and the solution, how they solve the problem, right? Okay, and you know what, friends? I took my journal that I've been doing our little chart on away, and I don't know what I did with it yesterday. I spent a lot of time cleaning. So we're just gonna do it with our words, and that'll be okay. Deal? Okay. A sick day for Amos McGee. Amos McGee was an early riser. Every morning when the alarm clock clanged, he swung his legs out of bed and swapped his pajamas for a fresh pressed uniform. He would wind his watch and set a pot of water to boil, saying to the sugar bowl, "A spoonful for my oatmeal, please, and 2 for my teacup." Belly full and ready for the workday, he'd amble out the door. Every day, Amos waited for the number 5 bus. Oh, that's something that Emerson was talking about yesterday, was the 5 on the bus. So now we just clarified that it's not how much the bus costs, it's the number of the bus. "Next stop, City Zoo," the bus driver would call. 6 a.m., right on time, he'd reply. Amos had a lot to do at the zoo, but he always made time to visit his good friends. He would play chess with the elephant, who thought and thought before making a move. Run races with the tortoise, who never ever lost. Sit quietly with the penguin, who was very shy. Lend a handkerchief to the rhinoceros, who always had a runny nose. And we already clarified our question about the rhinoceros and why he has a runny nose. And at sunset, read stories to the owl, who was afraid of the dark. One day, Amos awoke with the sniffles and the sneezes and the chills. He swung his achy legs out of bed, curled them back again, and said, "Ugh, I don't think I'll be going to work today." Meanwhile, at the zoo, the animals waited for their friends. The elephant arranged his pawns and polished his castles. The tortoise stretched his legs and limbered up. The penguin sat patiently, all by himself. The rhinoceros worried that all his allergies were worsening. The owl perched atop a tall stack of storybooks, scratching his head with concern. "Where is Amos?" the animals wondered. Oh, friends, when we read this the other day, I did not notice that the owl was on a stack of books. I love that. Later that day, hooray, my good friends are here. The elephant prepared a game of chess. Amos thought and thought before making a move. "I'm too tired to run races today," said Amos to the tortoise. "Let's play hide and seek instead." The tortoise hid inside his shell. Amos hid beneath the covers. Amos yawned. "I could use a nap." The penguin sat quietly, keeping Amos's feet warm. "Achoo!" Amos awoke with a sneeze. The rhinoceros was ready with a handkerchief. "I'm beginning to feel much better, thank you," said Amos to his friends. He swung his legs out of bed. "Perhaps we'll share a pot of tea." Amos wound his alarm clock. It's getting late, he said. After all, we have a morning bus to catch. So Amos said goodnight to the elephant, and goodnight to the tortoise, and goodnight to the penguin, and goodnight to the rhinoceros, and goodnight to the owl, who, knowing that Amos was afraid of the dark, read a story aloud before turning out the light. The end. All right, my friends, raise a quiet hand if you can tell me who were the main characters in our story. Kaden.
Amos, the rhinoceros, the penguin, the owl,
A really big one.
the elephant.
I think that's all. Did we get all of them?
I think so.
Zach is shaking his head no. Who did we miss, Zach?
Turtle.
Oh, the tortoise. Kaden, did you say tortoise? No, we missed that one. Oh, good catch, Zach. Okay, we got our characters.
We also have a tortoise.
Yes. What was the setting of our story? Where were they? It kind of had two settings in the story because they moved. John, what do you think?
The zoo and the man's house.
The zoo and Amos's house. Yeah, because they rode the number 5 bus to go to Amos's house to make him feel better. I agree. All right. What was the problem in the story? Raise a quiet hand if you can tell us what the problem was. Karis.
The problem was Amos was sick and he couldn't go to work, so the animals had to go to his house.
Oh my goodness, that was such a complete answer, Karis. And you know what? You already answered my next question, which was going to be, how did they solve the problem? And you told us that they solved the problem of Amos being sick and not being able to go to the zoo by saying the animals came to him. So you answered all my questions. All right, friends, this was a speedy one. So I hope you have a very happy Friday and you work really hard, and I will see you on Tuesday. Okay? All right.